Welcome to Shit Wrong with the World. I'm not fancy here, but I have a webcam, an internet connection, and I have shit to say. There are so many stupid people in the world, and they piss me off. There are so many stupid people in Australia. Just look at our government. First of all, if you voted for a Liberal government, you are stupid. I've been listening to so many news stories that seem to be confused that the economy isn't recovering because interest rates are low. But to me that sounds particularly stupid. I've been trying to make my voice heard on this. I've emailed my local member. I've emailed the ABC, Channel 9, Channel 7. Didn't find an email for Channel 10, but yeah. Also emailed the entire Parliament of Australia. And I got no replies. And this is what I want to say. I just want this shit to be talked about. I've got a degree in commerce, right? In my first year macroeconomics class, we learned about inflation, how it's indispensable to our economy. When inflation rises, we increase interest rates so that we've got some room to move in times of crisis. When interest rates increase, we see more investment and growth in our economy because investments are more attractive. Increased inflation also increases spending. Maybe you buy shoes the next size up for your kid because it will be more expensive in the future. But this increase in spending causes more inflation, so it needs to be monitored closely. It decreases the cost of borrowing. Say you want a home loan and you borrow $500,000 at 5%. If inflation is at 3%, the real increase in your debt is 2%. So yeah, inflation is important. Now, when I learned about it, there were two main drivers. Money supply, so your interest rates, and I don't know why the fuck this isn't being talked about. Milton Friedman was a big thing when I was studying, so maybe he's brainwashed people that are doing economic policy or some shit. But the other thing is wage growth. So you've got two levers here. You can reduce interest rates, your mortgage might be cheaper, and you'll have more money to spend. But the thing is, not everyone's got a mortgage. But everyone's got a fucking job. Well, most people do. I don't. But that's another story. So if wages go up, the population has more money to spend on shit, literally putting upward pressure on prices and hence inflation. We need this, and it's not being talked about. I don't really believe in capitalism, but this is how you do it, if you do. Back to the Liberal Party. Don't you think a government should be representative of the people? Most Australians want stronger action on climate change. What are the Liberal Party doing? Nothing. They're using carryover credits from when the carbon tax was more effective than we hoped in an accounting trick to say that we've reduced emissions, when in fact our emissions are going up. And they have been since 2014. Meeting our targets is just accounting trickery. And now we get to show how stupid Australians really are. Australia's on fire. The Liberal Party is in power. They're doing fuck all about climate change. And yet the latest news poll has the coalition above Labour on a two-party preferred basis. Fucking what? Anyway, this is just the basic shit. We're not talking about what they do to journalists. They've been talking about curbing your right to protest, or negative gearing bullshit, more accounting bollocks. Anyway, back to climate change. It seems people actually believe you can deal with climate change and have no hit to economic activity. And voting for a government that provides tax breaks to rich people is somehow going to help. We're just talking about carbon emissions here though. Never mind the fact that we've been using more resources than the Earth can replenish. since the 1970s. This is the fundamental flaw in capitalism, by the way. Capitalism assumes that we're always climbing a mountain, that there is no peak. But the truth is, we reached that peak in the 70s. We need to be stewards of the earth for future generations. Look at how my generation is pissed off with the boomers, and rightly so. But my generation is of an age to do something. If we don't do what we need to do, I'm sure future generations will be just as pissed off with us as we are at the boomers. My generation isn't quite feeling the effects of the shit that the boomers did, but I'm sure future generations will. But let's assume Earth isn't in dire peril at the moment. Let's look at billionaires. People actually believe billionaires should exist. I believe that people should be paid when you make something, grow something, create value. How much do you reckon you could make growing wheat? Not $1 billion. Let's say you made $2,000 an hour. That's a fuckload of money that all of us will never see, but it's there to illustrate my point. You worked 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 52 weeks of a year. You'd make your billionth dollar in your 241st year. Think about that. No one ever made $1 billion without exploitation. It's just not possible. And you are stupid if you think that this is okay. Next, let's look at flat taxes. So many people have been hoodwinked into thinking that these taxes are fair. Many proponents of these taxes will say that it's a flat tax because it's the same for everyone, but it's really not. And you're stupid if you buy into this. A person making $50,000 needs to eat as much as a person making $200,000. GST on a loaf of bread is a much higher proportion of the first guy's income than the second guy. Hence, it's a regressive tax. It's a tax that punishes you for being poor. Same goes for fuel taxes, tobacco taxes, alcohol taxes. Now we come to the end of the video. I guess this is my plea, that you stop being stupid. Call out stupidity when you see it. Rise up. Join a climate protest. Stop giving your vote to stupid people. None of our politicians will hear you when you're quiet. Be loud.